and welcome to Living As Is. I'm Shar, and this is the first video of 4. In this video, it'll be how I found meditation, how meditation found me. The second video will be all about why meditation, how can it help you. The third video is going to be from a friend, Angela Callahan. It will be a yoga nidra, and it will be with her amazing Himalayan bowls. The fourth video will come from myself, and it is Silver Waters. So, how did I find meditation, or how did meditation find me? At the age of 18, I was going through a lot of different experiences, deja vu being one of them. I had a month of deja vu, drove me crazy, and I decided I needed to find out what was going on, how were these things happening, how could I know what I could know. I ended up at a free church in Shrewsbury, Shropshire. I spoke with the priest there, Clifford, and he said that he ran these healing groups, this healing community, and I could come along, learn how to be a healer, or I could walk away knowing what it was. That's it. I'm an in for a penny, in for a pound kind of guy, so I went. And on the first day, I'm instructed to sit down, focus on my heart center, bring everything that I knew to be love, everything that I felt love was, all of my relatives, any friends I loved, just bring love to my heart. And I did this, and it didn't take very long, but I found this energy building up in my chest. And then I was directed to pass this energy down my arms into my hands, where I would then provide laying on of hands for people. So it was really quite fascinating, to say the least, how by sitting and simply focusing on the heart, putting all thoughts, everything towards the heart, and feeling this energy just build, and then passing it through your hands and out. Now, this didn't happen straight away. I can tell you this was not a straight away thing, because mind did spend a bit of time getting in the way of how can this work? How can you do this? How can you do that? How can you, and on and on. But eventually wasn't that long. I mean, I did attend this church for 2 years, but I was enjoying what I was doing, and I was amazed at what was going on, and I wanted to understand. Eventually, though, I started to have visions, see spirit, hear spirit, and Clifford just focused on the healing, which is brilliant, which is really good. He brought a lot of benefit to people. And for me, that I needed more. I wanted more, because I was on a search of how could I do what I could do? How could this happen? What was going on? My next place was the Spiritualist Church. In the Spiritualist Church, we all sat down in a circle. They hold regular open circles at the Spiritualist Church, and you can go along to practice clairvoyancy, to practice mediumship, to basically work through the Spiritualist Church, where you provide life after death. I went on an evening when they were practicing the open circle, practicing clairvoyancy. So in this first session, we're instructed to sit down, and then we would be guided on a journey. This journey might be walking down a path, and the path would wind. You would smell flowers, you would smell grass, you'd smell evergreen trees, and you'd be in a forest, and you'd hear the birds and the animals, and you'd hear the crunch of leaves underfoot, and you'd walk through this path, and then it would reach somewhere, and that might be a cottage, and you'd go and sit in the cottage. It might be an open dell, and there could be a circle of rocks, a circle of logs. There could be water there. It could be a fire circle. So you would sit, and wherever you came to, wherever you were guided to, you would sit, and then you'd be asked for your spirit guide to come and connect to you. You would ask for a message for somebody else within the circle. So here was my introduction to guided meditation. Now, with that, I also came to understand about mediumship connecting into a spirit of someone who's passed over. I don't really focus on mediumship myself, but it was an interesting journey to do that. And then we have transmediumship. Now, I did do a bit of work on transmediumship. With transmediumship, you're emptying yourself out to open yourself up so a spirit can step into you and then talk through you, and in some cases move your body. So somebody would talk to that spirit and gain information from the spirit. Now, we could also use this method for spirit rescue, which we did in the Spiritualist Church. And with spirit rescue, you would go into a trance state, and then another person would connect to the spirit that came through and see if they needed any assistance, and then they would be guided on their way. So we have 2 or 3 meditations there, particularly with the guided meditation. Now, guided meditation helps the mind to keep quiet because the mind follows where it's being guided. So guided meditation can be really good for that. With the next meditations I came to, this was within Buddhism. And these were really fascinating. These were because you're embodying an understanding. You're embodying a way of living. And so with Buddhism, you've got meditation on sound. So you might play a pair of tinctures, or you might play a bowl in your hand, and with each invite of the bowl, you focus on the sound. And the bowl could be sitting in front of you so you can relax. And you just focus on that sound as that sound disappears. And you're focusing where the sound comes from. I had this experience once where we're meditating, we're in a city, and I heard a police car, and it went around and it went around. And as it was going off into the distance, it didn't go into the distance, it went into my ear. And I sat there thinking, oh, is this sound inside me? Has sound always been inside me? And that was fascinating. So you've got meditation on sound. You can have silent meditation, where the purpose being to quieten the mind and to sit within stillness, within silence. Now, the mind can find this quite difficult. There are some people who will say, well, I can't sit with myself. And that's because the mind can be so busy. So silent meditation may take a bit of while to practice. It's actually my preferred one, meditating in stillness. And that's my preferred system. Then we have meditation with deities. Now, meditation with deities. Medicine Buddha. Medicine Buddha. Here, Medicine Buddha is blue. Medicine Buddha has qualities which you want to embody. So Medicine Buddha is a healing Buddha. So you're taking on healing qualities. And so you visualize Medicine Buddha, and then you visualize yourself becoming Medicine Buddha. The same thing can be with green Tara, and the same thing can be with Vajra Yogini. Sorry, I stumble over that. In these meditations, you're looking at the deity and then embodying the qualities of the deity. So these can be quite fascinating meditations. And sometimes I'd find myself almost like I was appearing somewhere else, which is quite interesting, because you have this feeling of your body still being in one place while you seem to be in another place. And this happened when I did deity meditations. It was almost like I was transported somewhere else. So Buddhism brought a series of meditations. And the thing that Buddhism helped with the most is understanding meditation. It is understanding how it can serve you, how it can assist you, how as a tool meditation is so good for you. Now, I went on from Buddhism to Sanatana Dharma. Within Sanatana Dharma, I was studying Advaita Vedanta, and Advaita Vedanta is non-duality. Now, in 2008, I was in my 40s now, and a friend introduced me to Advaita Vedanta, and that was just absolutely mind-blowing. If I thought Buddhism was like, oh, this is fantastic, Advaita Vedanta just took it away. And within Advaita Vedanta, you have lots of different practices to understand. If you take, for instance, Bhakti Yoga is devotional. So, like, at one point, I attended the Christian church, and I was introduced to prayer. So with prayer, you're praying to a deity, you're praying to the divine, you're praying to saints, you're praying to have your wishes fulfilled and your desires fulfilled, and your hopes and dreams, kind of, in a way. And so you're praying to God, ultimately. Now we come back to Bhakti Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga is a devotional yoga. It's a devotional practice. So you are devoting prayer in a way. It's kind of the similarity to Christian prayer. So Bhakti Yoga, focusing, devotional love. We have Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is action and selfless service. So yeah, your karma, cause and effect. Yeah, cause and effect, actions. You do bad happens to you. You do good happens to you. Well, with Karma Yoga, you're focusing on your actions. So selfless service, so your deeds and how you express to people and how you assist people. And that you're not looking for goodness to come to you, because that defeats the purpose. This is selfless service. So you're not trying to do good. You just do good. We have Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is knowledge and self-study. So Jnana Yoga, you are taking on board information. You're studying, but you're also self-studying. So with that information that you find, you then bring it to yourself to understand yourself better. Jnana Yoga, Advaita Vedanta, for me, bee's knees, Advaita Vedanta. It brought so much to me in understanding of the mind. And in many ways, I kind of needed this, because a couple of years ago, I was diagnosed with autism. And this answered so much in my life, and it brought so much understanding to me. But at the same time, it brought some confusion. So I needed to understand what was going on with autism. But I also had this aspect of my life where, as a child, I was abused, and I had all this trauma from childhood. So in the last few years, I've had all this cramped in of understanding that I'm autistic, of understanding child abuse, of understanding my traumas, but at the same time growing as a person in self-awareness, in awakening, because of my meditations, because of the practices I chose. And finally, in this list of yogas, we have Raja Yoga. Now, I'm saying self-discipline and practice. I also have found information which says Raja Yoga is all the yogas combined, kind of like Tantra. Tantra is all the yogas combined. So you are looking at disciplining your actions and disciplining your life to bring this sense of peace more totally into you. And so all the meditations that I've found within Advaita Vedanta, they're the ones that I practice the most. And within Buddhism, the stillness meditation is the one that I practice the most. Now, these meditations I've practiced over time. One meditation which blew my mind off, and I put that in a video earlier, was Kundalini Rising. I was at the Spiritualist Church, and my mentor gave me a tape deck which went into this machine, and on this tape deck was a person playing a church organ. Okay, I'm not a fan of church organs, but I put up with it. And this was a 45-minute tape, and it had 15 minutes in the middle. And you were instructed to go through and do your own meditation for 15 minutes, and then you'd be brought back. So I decided, well, let's do a chakra meditation. I'd got this little thin booklet. It wasn't very big. Wasn't very big, this booklet. Just a little booklet, introduction to meditation and chakras. And each page introduced you to a chakra, and then there was this like focus on chakras. So I thought, let's throw that in there. And so for a year, I meditated every night, regular as clockwork. Every night, I focused on the chakras, and eventually Kundalini rose, which I'll put in a video all on its own. So meditation, this is how I came to meditation, through Free Church in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, through Spiritualist Church, through Buddhism, through Christianity, through Advaita Vedanta. And between all of those, there's this absolute wealth of information on meditation. But you might need to decipher some of it, because like in the Spiritualist Church, wonderful, really appreciated everybody there. But at the beginning, I wasn't really told this is guided meditation. It kind of came along as I was being taught, and then I understood it. In Buddhism, they tend to be quite precise and quite this is what you're doing. In Advaita Vedanta, there's a similarity in that it's quite precise. So it depends on what you're looking for. If your mind is quite busy, then perhaps a guided meditation is good for you, or a sound meditation, so the mind has something to focus on. If you're able to quiet the mind, I think a stillness meditation would be brilliant, because you can just literally empty it out. But as I say, there is a wealth of meditations out there, enough for people to find what they're looking for in themselves. I'm going to bring two meditations to you, a Yoga Nidra meditation and Silver Waters guided meditation. Now, in a way, the Yoga Nidra meditation is a guided meditation, but you should have a little space for you to rest. I will also look towards bringing other meditations in amongst everything. I will look to bringing other meditations to you, so you can end up with a variety of meditations. Thank you for listening. Click like, subscribe, join in. Come on. Thank you once more. Wish you well.